insightful. And we were hoping that you could tell us a little bit about what are the main factors that endanger coral reefs in Singapore, and are they reversible or not?
Okay, so let's take a look at all these threats. Okay, so in generally, coral reef around the world are impacted by some of these threats. So we have climate change, right? Coral bleaching. We have natural causes like this one, predation, where you see all these little snails, they're actually feeding on corals. We have man-made impacts like pollution, rubbish. And this is actually dynamite fishing, okay? So like unsustainable fishing, like using big nets or using this dynamite fishing, they can destroy coral reef. So, and then we have land reclamation like this. So where we try to have our waterfront living, we want to expand our land, we want to reclaim our land. You can see, right, all these dredgers and huge machines that they use, they kind of like also release a lot of things into the sea as well, okay? And then we also have tourism. So some of us might not be so careful, we'll trample and step on the coral reef. And all these coral reef, right, they take very long to recover. Okay, so and all these impacts really keep coming, they'll take very long and we might not even know if they can save themselves. That's why we are actively restoring the corals and also come up with different management plan so that we can help the corals to grow again. Okay, so something in particular is this climate change, right? Coral bleaching. So the effects of climate change can lead to a rise in sea temperatures like this. So Singapore corals, right, were also affected by global bleaching event. Okay, so this is how it looks like. You can see some parts of it are still brownish and then some part of it is white. So if you take a closer comparison, this is a brain coral because it looks like a brain, right? And like I said earlier, this is the coral chart that we use to assess the health. So this one is kind of like a darker brown, but you can see the one on the right is paling, right? It seems a bit pale. So we know that this is not doing so well. Okay, so how does it work? So like you and I, we have best friend, right? So corals, they also have this special friend called called zooxanthellae. So they have this relationship with this algae. So what happens is corals will provide shelter for this zooxanthellae, and in turn, zooxanthellae provide food and shelter for the coral. So when the temperature rises, it gets very hot, right? So imagine you're in a room that's very hot. What you want to do? You want to run out of the room, right? So same thing. All these zooxanthellae, they actually get expelled. Okay, they leave the coral. So what's left is this is the tissue is transparent. Okay, and then it exposes the bare skeleton. So corals get bleached. So like what you asked, whether it is reversible, yes, it is. If all the environmental conditions go back to normal, the zooxanthellae can actually go back to the coral and it becomes healthy again, right? If things are not changing, they will leave the corals, and when the corals do not get food, they will slowly starve and they will die. Okay, so when you see these furry things, right, in algae, they start to cover the corals, you'll know they are dead already. Okay, so another one that we have, in particularly in Singapore, right, is actually land reclamation, coastal development. Okay, so what happens is in response to economic development and a rapid growing population, right, our coast has been extensively modified since 1960s. So because of all this large-scale coastal development and all this regular dredging over the past years, we have lost a lot of coral reef. So we have lost over 60% of coral reef in Singapore.